Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I realized I hadn't done a therapy session in a very long time. I've been nice and comfortable, just kind of addressing the channel solely for basketball since the playoffs have started. Maybe a couple apes rants here and there, but for those of you who just started following me and not really knowing what the heck's going on with this particular type of thing, I use my channel for multiple topics that don't connect or don't relate. I know that's not how you're supposed to do it, but yeah, this is me. This is how I do it. I have all of my interests in one place because this is who you get when you get me, a multi-faceted person who likes different things, and when he finds things that he likes, he focuses in on those subjects. That's who I am. So rather than to separate them, I think the lane that I want to find myself in is when you come to me, I'm got a little basketball stuff to talk about. I got this, I got that, and you're coming to BDF for those things. Rather than let me get my sports channel, let me get like normal people do in normal situations. I don't want that. I want you to know me for all of this crap. That's the lane I want. Anyway, so it's a lot of stuff I'm doing right now that just has kind of kept me away from thinking about where I am in my mental health. I'm basically a factory over here, honestly. If you want to know what I've been doing since my last video, about therapy session is basically working on the channel, as I said, doing my art, which has really turned into a serious practice for me. You know what I mean? And what I do with my art is I share everything. The good, the bad, the complete, the incomplete. My best stuff and my worst work all goes together. I share it one time, maybe twice if I really love it, and then keep it in the cloud. I'm not really selling anything yet. It's all free right now because it's done for passion. It's done for therapy purposes. It's not done to monetize. But I do find myself with talent in creating logos, I guess, or ambiance pieces, I guess is what I'm calling it. I'm not an artist as it pertains to like getting into the details and draw my face or your faces. I don't have that type of talent. But what I can do is mess around with colors really well, take my initials and put them in various different font patterns. And I found a little style that I like. So other people are liking it as well online as I share it. And I'm growing my presence in this field. And they say when you put in a certain amount of hours, then you can call yourself someone really good at something. I think I'm approaching ridiculous amounts of hours. I think that thing counted 1,280 pieces in the last 4 months or 5 months. 1,280 something pieces is where we're at. So, needless to say, that's one thing I've been working on. And of course, if you follow me, I'm doing the NBA thing for the playoffs. Still working on my playlist music thing, even though I don't work on that as much because the music just hasn't been that great, to be honest with you. And I haven't been digging in the crates for old school stuff. So, when new stuff comes out, put together a playlist once a week. Other than that, I haven't really been doing it like I know I should. But I think the real reason that is because I've, not just because of the music, but it's because I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm very comfortable with where I'm at, with that craft. And now I'm kind of focusing on something that I know I'm not as comfortable with just yet. So it's all about that practice process. So that's what I'm doing, man, getting better at the things that I'm good at or the things that I love to do. Letting that kind of preoccupy my time. As far as paying attention to the AMC stuff, I've made it a point over the last 3 days to ignore it. I don't think I've done that at all since I've been a part of this. But this week, it's a perfect storm to where, in my mind, for my circumstances, this is the week where I can just say, it doesn't matter what the price is. Because I'm not looking to take anything from it. I'm not looking to put anything in it. And, this is the first time that's been the case pretty much all year. I've either been buying or chipping away at it to try to pay off what needs to be taken care of. And it's just not necessary. So I'm taking this opportunity to say there is zero reason to look at that price action. And I think it's been healthy for me. It's been good for me to take a couple days at least away from stressing over when this is going to take place and how long it's going to take, and just overall mind manipulation that they're embarking on us. Sorry, I'm eating breakfast, but what they're doing, hedge funds and their cronies, is putting us on a manipulative roller coaster. And that's supposed to take us on these ebbs and flows that ultimately wear us down mentally. And for somebody who's been on this ride for a year now, when you know they're active in pushing the FUD, when you know they're initiating the plan, what you have to do is remove yourself entirely. Like, because they're always pushing FUD, but sometimes, and as we discussed in my previous Apes rant, they push a little harder in certain instances, and sometimes you could see it's going to be a bad week, or you could see it's going to be a couple bad days, because they're going to put more FUD in these different forms where apes are found, where people who do what it is that I do are found, try to get us in our feelings about what's going on. So when you know they're ramping it up, which they are right now, walk away. They can't manipulate what you don't subject yourself to. They can't use those methods to manipulate you if you don't subject yourself to them entirely. You know what you hold. You know what it's worth. You know what the price action looks like or is hovering around and has been for the last 9 months. So either you can sit there and obsess over for another however long it take, or you can get on about with your life and look at it when you need to address it, which is how I think I'm going to try to handle this from day to day to day. Now, sometimes I may be interested in what's going on. Sometimes some news might drop or something. Maybe I just feel like paying attention, for which has happened many times. But right now, very comfortable. Not even looking at it, and I honestly don't know what the price was. Last time I looked, it was at $17.90 something, and I think that was 6:30 a.m. on Monday morning. It is 7:15 on Wednesday morning, and I don't know what the hell's happened since then. Don't care either. It could be at $5. It could be at $100. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So that's how real that is. And as far as everything else, man, I just felt like I've been chilling, yeah, do I have a lot to consider in terms of my situation? Of course. But as it always is, man, I'm one moment away from being able to take care of all these bills anyway. All I need is a certain thing to happen for me to handle all my finances in one flurry. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of my situation. So if I haven't been as urgent about moving, it's because I know what I hold and I know what it's worth. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, I think passion for them is to work on moving, being in the presence of others all the time, or, they have family, so they got to do this, and this. For me, what it matters to me, honestly, you guys, is just enjoying every second I have. That's it. That's all. Because I've gotten to a point at 37 years of age, even though my health is good, I feel like my health is fine. I've had some issues to where I understand the importance of not chasing things that you can't take with you, while giving up the moments that you can't take back. You understand what I'm saying? And I've done that for a long time. Stressing about what I wasn't doing, stressing about how my mind would operate, and not actually exercising that mind to do what it is that it's good at. You know what I mean? I've always used this mind to stress myself out, use this mind to tell myself what I couldn't do, use this mind to psych myself into being comfortable, but not necessarily using my mind to do the things that it's actually good at. And now that I'm finding out what those things are, I'm spending my time doing those things. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. I don't care about, let me hurry up and do this. Let me hurry up and meet these expectations. No. Why? Because if the heart stops, I go in the ground, or whatever it is I was working on doesn't get done. So why am I tripping off something? Especially when I know I don't get to manually beat my heart. You know what I mean? I don't get to do. It's going to do it without my decision. So if it's going to beat without my at no will of my own, and it's going to stop at no will of my own, then I can't assume that whatever I'm doing while it's beating is going to get done, or whatever I'm doing while it's beating is just must be the only thing I focus. I don't feel like that's how I need to be moving. I think the world itself is kind of moving away from let me chase a bag till I die. No, let me find out how I can overcome pain that I've been dealing with for 30 years. Let me figure out how to leave something for my children. so that they don't have to work for 40 years for a company that's going to fire them. Let me find out a way I can put my money where my mouth is, so I can help see to it that the money that they're investing actually turns into something that they can provide for their children and multiply for their lifestyles, instead of being ripped off the top by hedge funds who don't mean them no good, who don't want to do nothing but align their own pockets and make themselves God knows what 10 years from now, 20 years from now. That's what I'm on. I'm not interested in just, oh, let me go out there and acquiesce to them so I can meet the expectations of people who are trying to have a give and take relationship with me on a corporate level. I don't care about none of that. Because when you die, that relationship carries on to the people that come after you. So when you start realizing how dispensable you are to the people that use you, you stop playing their game, and that's exactly what's happened here. So, especially when I know I got something that could, make it so that I don't have to do any of this. Hell no. I'm gonna spend the time I have on this earth breathing with this, involuntary beating of the heart that keeps going, and I'm appreciative of it nevertheless, but have no control over it. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna spend that time while that thing is beating doing whatever the hell I want. Within reason, of course. But literally, whatever I want. For as long as I can, bro. And if that makes me a bad guy, or if that makes me somebody you don't respect, then I just have to live with that. Because I've spent my life doing things I didn't want to do. It drove me absolutely and utterly crazy, and I never got any better for it. I didn't feel better. I didn't grow. I didn't evolve. I had trouble taking care of myself physically. All of that shit while I was doing the stuff that y'all were doing out there. Hustling, bustling, trying to acquiesce to your bosses and all that. As long as I can not have to do that, please believe I'm going to stay away from that. Stay away from it. Why? Because I know you're being cheated. All of us are. All of us. Nobody's getting the money they're supposed to be getting unless they work for themselves and find a way to fudge the numbers so that they make sense versus those who are fudging the numbers around them, because that's going on. A lot of people are cheating the system, so ain't nothing fair. But also it's just, they're gonna work you to the ground. I was in a place doing security for many years, doing stuff that wasn't safe for money that couldn't even pay my bills, risking my life, being around people crazier than me, stuff like that, man. It's just for what? Having people call me the N-word because I asked them not to eat in a certain place. Having people trying to swing at me because I told them to put on their masks. Man, listen, I worked through that whole pandemic, didn't get nothing from it. The only money I have to show for it is the money I took to invest with. Not money I was able to invest with because of my circumstances being okay. No, I never made enough money to do that. I had to literally stop paying people and just say, F y'all, I'm gonna invest my money. Come get it. You know what I mean? And when you do come get it, I'm gonna have more for it because of what I'm doing. As to where you just gonna take everything before I get a chance to invest it, and then I have to keep on churning. F that. I've been F that, bro. Unless you're doing something that you love to do and get money, or unless you got a family that has to eat off of your mouth, for which I've created a circumstance for which that's not the case. I'm not responsible to anybody but myself, and that's an important aspect of this. And I allow myself to do what I want to do because that's the sacrifice I give myself. No family, no friends, no nothing. I don't even leave the house. That's the sacrifice for what it is I want to do. But see, I can live that way. I have the brain that allows me to live that way comfortably. Most people can't, and I respect that. Which is why I'm happy being me. I live in my reality. I don't long to be nobody else because other people couldn't do what I'm doing. If I were in their circumstances, I wouldn't be able to do it the way I want to do it. And I have to be me. Nobody else can be me. You know what I mean? Somebody has to do this. That's how I look at it. So, yeah, I'm enjoying my life, man. I'm enjoying my life. I go without a lot of things. But it ain't because I need those things to get by. It's because I realize I don't. A lot of that stuff people tell you need, you don't necessarily need. You're just conditioned to believe you need it, and you will psych yourself into depression for not having it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you physically can't adapt to not having it. You just got to condition yourself to be without it. And that's what I've learned throughout this sacrifice, trying to hold these damn shares. All the things I thought I couldn't live without, I've had to live without. All the things that I thought I wouldn't be able to discipline myself to do, if I had a certain amount of money, I could never not buy this. I've not bought those things. Food, clothes, cars, different things I could have purchased. Hell, if I would have done certain things a different way, I'd probably even have my own property by now. All of that stuff went by the wayside. You know what I mean? Made certain decisions and put myself in the position to not have those things. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Because what have I given myself in its stead? Freedom. Freedom. If just for a moment I ain't answer to a single soul about a single thing. A lot of people are afraid to live that way, even for just a moment. I gotta have a job. I gotta either be telling somebody what to do or being told by somebody what to do. And I feel very, very blessed that I do not require either. Just don't. I've looked at myself for a long time saying how weird I was for not needing those things. And then I wake up one morning like today and realize I don't need those things. You know what I mean? Not to say that I wouldn't be happier if I had them, but they're not here and I feel all right. I'm fine. I don't need them. And that's the point. You start realizing a lot of stuff that we're conditioned to need, we don't. And a lot of stuff we didn't know that we would love, we do. Like art, for example. I thought I couldn't live without NBA 2K PlayStation 4. Literally. What am I going to do with my time if I don't play this game? I'm not even happy playing this game, but I don't know what else to do with my time. That's how jaded and one-track minded I found myself being, warped by the conditioning of what this generation has had, waved in its face as shiny little objects. I've been a very much a part of that. And now that I've gotten a chance to get that stuff out of my life just out of, by default, basically not wanting to pay anybody, so I don't have Wi-Fi, I can't play the game. Now I got to find ways to preoccupy my time and replace that. And guess what? I did. And that's what I'm here to tell you. Whatever it is you think you can't live without, when you're forced to live without it, you will be without it. You'll deal with it. How fine you'll be, that's up to you, but you'll deal with it. You don't need none of that stuff. So, with that being said, man, I know what I need. I need to feed my body. I haven't taken too much out of this food. I've been stirring it the whole time here, but I just want to get up here and keep this therapy session process going, let you guys know how happy I've been, not stressing about things that I should be stressing about as a grown man. Don't get it twisted, I know this. But at the same time, it's like, should. What's the value of the word should? You know what I mean? Well, it's relative to what your responsibilities are and how much you're willing to sacrifice if those responsibilities do not get met. And as for me, well, I weigh that against how happy I find myself being not answering to nobody, how happy I find myself being not putting on a security uniform, how happy I find myself being not driving to work, going through all that hustle and bustle that people have to every day. It makes me so fulfilled and happy. It really does. Maybe that's, you didn't have your father socking you in your chest, telling you need to get up and go to work. I had my mother telling me I need to go to work and slapping me on my backside. She was there. I just always viewed it this way, and that stuff never made me happy. I'm an artist. In fact, I'm an artistic factory of many kinds. As I've already discussed, both musical, visual, writing. I could probably do other stuff that I've never even tried. So it's no wonder why I hate my life when I'm an employee. It's because I'm a creative. And as I'm starting to realize, I might be a super creative, which makes it even worse. So, I can leave you with this. When you have a child who is unique and you see that they're struggling in their own head, know that whether they know it or not, there's a universe in that head that is not only meant to cause them struggle. And if you give them the right tools, that same brain that depresses them and drives them crazy can also do a lot of beautiful things. You just got to put that child or that young person in a position to discover what it is that brain actually does. No one in my life properly helped me with that as a young person, and that's why I grew up as a man who was always unhappy, always mad at himself for the things he was unhappy about. It's like, why aren't you wanting to do this? Why don't you want to do that? It's because you're not meant to do that. Because you're not hardwired to do any of those things. And the people who are around you aren't able to identify that in you and put you where you need to be. That's what it was. You know what I mean? So I grew up thinking I wasn't normal. I grew up thinking I was lazy. I grew up thinking I didn't have, good sense. I grew up thinking all kinds of different stuff because I couldn't bring myself to do things that weren't me. You know what I mean? And it took me 37 years to understand that, wasn't nothing wrong with me. And I'm not going to sit up here and say nothing wrong with the people around me. It's just that there were certain things that they didn't have that they needed to give me in order for me to be my best self. That's it. It ain't nobody's fault. They gave you the best you could. They gave you the best they did. I'm not saying I would have did a better job with me. I'm not saying I would have known what to do with me. Hindsight is 20/20, and I'm telling you that's exactly what I needed. I needed to be in musical situations. I needed to be in art situations. I needed to be in theater situations. I needed to be in broadcasting situations. I needed to be in all that different stuff. And it just wasn't happening. You know what I mean? It just was not happening. But naturally, I still found myself subjected to enough of it to get what I needed to be who it is I am today, and we're gonna run with that. But yeah, man, just let me be a cautionary tale. You got a kid that struggles, you see they're struggling, don't look at the negative aspect of everything that their behavior shows you. Understand that there's some things missing that can get the most out of those kids. You just gotta find out what it is. Chances are it isn't something you're trying. It might not even be anything you're good at, but they're good at it, and you need to help them discover it. So that's what I gotta say, man. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.